What was that? Hey, Jack. All right, here we go. We're going to try this one more time. We're still working on the console. Now I'm going to start going through my normal checklist. And the first thing that we need to do after I get a screen grab in here is see if I can get this rolling. See if it'll cooperate this time. No. It's so weird. Okay. Try one more time. It's weird. Okay. That doesn't want to work. It's kind of a bummer. Maybe I can, hang on a second. Okay, let's go back to not share here, but let's share. Let's share here. And this is where we want to be. Okay. All right, we're going to search. We're going to load our console. Oh, nope, that's not what I want. Let's go search. Find our console. Good. Now we're connected. So what we want to do, we want to go down to our DCAs, and we're just going to start labeling these guys. And they're the last thing here on the bottom. Now, DCA is simply a fader group, and this is just our groups that we use in order to be able to control our mix with less faders instead of more. So these are really good. Now, why it's not letting me move? Oh, this is interesting. Oh, I see. Oh, this is where I can select them. Oh, I see. Okay, that's cool. All right, so the first matrix is going to be, I'm just going to do all my colors. Red for drums. We'll do yellow for guitars. I think it actually was this yellow. DC3 is green for keys. And DC4 is going to be green for tracks. You know what? I should probably just do this since this is icon. We'll use, where's the drums? There we go. We'll use this drum kit icon for drums. That's our first DCA. And we'll go ahead and call this drums. And bass. And then we can go ahead and select it. So we're going to go ahead and select all of our drum channels. And this is just basically adding a master fader for this group. And that's really all that it does. Now, why does it say kick? Why does it say kick and kick? There's something wrong there. Okay, I got to go back and figure out why that looks so bad. All right, so then we got our bass. So that covers our first DCA. Our second DCA is yellow. And the icon for that, we'll use a guitar icon. Maybe just like a standard guitar icon. Call this guitars. And this is going to include our electric and acoustic guitars. There we go. And then we're going to select electric guitar and acoustic, those two channels. Moving on to 3, this is going to be keys. And we'll use like a piano icon for that right there. And where is my, some really strange looking channels going on here. I don't know what's happening. bass guitar, acoustic. I think kick. That's, I think, where our keys are supposed to be. So I've got to fix that. So I'm going to go to the console and I'm going to figure out what's going on my second layer. Oh, I see. Okay. We're going to fix this real quick. This is actually supposed to be that's good. That's not labeled properly, but we'll fix that. And then this one is actually supposed to be routed to the E and H drums, which is here. Okay, now we're going to go back and we're going to fix these labels. Just gonna copy that over. There we go. There we go. Now everything looks like it's supposed to. Now I can actually. Okay, whoa. Now for some reason it hasn't updated over here. So I'm going to go out of this and I'm going to go back into it. Now it's updated. All right, so piano, E and H. So keys are just going to have one thing attached to it. Then up next is going to be tracks. So all the tracks are going to be E and H drums, E and H bass, E and H instruments, E and H BCB. So all the tracks are going into that TCA. 5 and 6 are going to be our Vox related. So all of our voices are going to go into here, all of our singing voices. Corey, worship leader 1, 3, 4, 5, and then 7. Those are going to be all going into the singing Vox DCA. And then 6, we haven't set up our effects yet, but we are going to go ahead and label it. Hang on. We should have been doing that here as well. Green icon. We're going to use like a tape machine or something down here. Actually, we can use a computer because that's what he's using. And this is going to be called, I'm going to call this tracks. Okay, perfect. Then over here, DCA 5 is our, and that's supposed to be blue, and that's correct. That icon is going to be maybe like a singer's, like a choir looking. There we go. We can use that for our icon, and then Vox. Caps for that. Vox. And those are, should be assigned. Are they assigned? I didn't see them assigned. I thought we assigned these. Tracks. Vox. That's weird. I thought we assigned those. Strange. There they are. Just double check all of these. Okay, yeah, drums and bass, guitars, piano, tracks also got unselected, which is very strange. Vox, those got selected. DCA 6 is going to be Vox effects, also blue. Icon here is going to be, whoops, there it is right there. Effects. I'm going to call this Vox effects. Vox effects. Okay. And I can go ahead and I already know where those effects are going to be. So I'm going to go down here and I'm not sure why I can't select. I'm not able to get down here. It's going to be all the Vox effects are going to be 5 through 8, bus 5 through 8 or 6 through 8, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay. Yeah, 5 through 8 are going to be my Vox effects, although they are not set up yet. All right, 7 is going to be media and 8 is going to be speaking. So media, we'll keep that blue. Actually, we can just move media. Like, how about like a light blue for media? Light blue for media. And we'll use a computer for that. And we'll call this media. And we'll assign that later once those have been assigned to the console. And again, we'll use light blue for the speaker mic. That in this case will be just a wireless handheld, and we'll just say, we'll just call this one Pastor. All right, speaking. And this one will actually be channels Josh and Pastor Reed. Perfect. So those are the 2 speaking mics. And that completes. We don't go on. I don't really like more than 8 DCAs. It kind of defeats the purpose of a DCA. But those are the first 8 DCAs. And those are done. And if I go back out, now we actually see our 8 DCAs. And now that we've done that, we should probably now actually really, whoops, gotta reconnect. No, go back. Reconnect and choose this one, choose that. Let's go back to our DCAs here at the bottom. And we're just going to move all of these. I always move my DCAs to Unity. I always mix everything into Unity. So we're going to bring all of those up so that when they're at Unity, everything basically behaves the way you'd expect, like everything going to the main house. So I'll bring those up to Unity. They're not perfect. I'll go and fine tune these later, but this is at least close enough. Okay. All right. Yeah, these are kind of jagged. I'll have to fix that later. All right. So now DCAs are completed. What else can we do in the next couple minutes? Next up is we have our channels labeled, but I do need to go back and check on a couple of errors that I did notice. So let's go back and look. Okay, those look good. Bass, electric guitar, acoustic piano, electric enhancement drums, bass, instrument, BGVs. And then those are blank, and then clicks there at the end. That all looks good. Up next is Corey. Okay, these are all right. That looks good. Josh and Pastor Reed. Okay. And 17 through 40 will be probably our media channels, or at least maybe those will be on our auxiliary. We already have USB 2-track and all that stuff. We'll fix those later. All right. So labels, the channels are labeled, which is good. Now it'll probably be a good idea to take a look at our buses because you know what? I actually just realized something. I did something wrong on my DCA, so let's go back and fix those. On my effects DCA, I assigned those to the wrong ones. I can't access the rest of my buses. So I want to do it here. I've assigned my last 4 effects buses to that, although my effects buses have not been set up, but they're routed. All right, so that's done. All right, now we need to label our buses. So buses 1 through 8 are going to be for various purposes that we don't need to spend a whole lot of time because we're not going to be doing any direct mixes. Everything's going to be done through a DP48. But we do have some buses to label here. So I'm going to get out of here. Go to our mixes. I'm going to start labeling. Actually, we'll start probably with 9 through 16 because 9 through 16 are going to be our effects. So right here, I'm going to keep those blue since they're related to the voice. So blue is fine. And the first thing is we're going to make all these icons the effects, like all of them. We actually are going to be using 4 sets of effects. I know I use all of my effects units. So the first 4 I use for drums and instruments, and the second 4 I use for voices. So the first effects unit is going to be drum plate. This one is going to be drum hall. Actually, no. Well, yeah, we'll do it. Drum hall. Yeah, that works. Then we're going to do instrument verb. Whoops. Verb, instrument verb. And then we're going to do instrument delay. Okay, perfect. So we got a delay unit for the instruments. Then my next effects unit is going to be, we're going to do a Vox room, a Vox plate, Vox hall, and a Vox delay. So this one's going to be Vox room, Vox hall, whoops, Vox plate, Vox hall, and Vox delay. Perfect. All right. Now our buses are labeled. And I believe all of our matrices have been labeled too. So I can continue on from that. All right. Okay, DCs are assigned. Okay. I think we got our channels linked, set pans, mute groups. We can set, okay, all that's fine and good. All right. Let's see if we can set up our send effects and we'll finish this video off with that. So in order to set up our send effects, we need to first set up our effects units, and that is done in the effects section. So we have 16 effects units. The first 8 are what are called premium. Those are going to be for send effects, delays, reverbs, that kind of thing. And the others are going to be individual effects like EQs, limiters, and whatnot. All right. So the first rack we want to use is, whoops. Well, I think I have to press and hold to select it. All right. So the first one's going to be our drum plate. So let's find reverb. Let's just do plate reverb. It's kind of a lexicon plate reverb. It's really good. Rack 2, we're going to press and hold, and we're going to make this one also a reverb, and we're going to use a simple hall reverb. Rack 3 is going to be another hall reverb. It's going to be for our instruments. Hall reverb. And then 4th is going to be just a basic stereo delay. And I usually use that one. All right. All right, we got 4 more effects. These are going to be our vocal effects. So this is going to be under reverb, we're going to use a room reverb. Then we're also going to use a plate reverb. And we're going to use a hall reverb. You're like, you use 3 reverbs on your box? Absolutely. Use it or lose it. All right, last one is going to be the same stereo delay that we used for instruments, but for voices. Okay, so these 8 effects are loaded up and ready to go. So quite simply, the way that we now route to these is by setting up our send effects, which we will do after lunch. So right now we're just going to pick it up. We'll leave it off there and we'll pick it up later.